Woohoo! You join us, it's a beautiful winter's day. The sun is shining, the sky is blue, the air is crisp, and it's a real tempter to take your classic car out. But of course, a bit of ice on the road, lots of salt on the road, you're not really going to want to take your high-end stuff. You're not going to take something out that's going to be worth several £100,000. But we're in a classic Range Rover, and a classic Range Rover, what's going to be 40, 50 grand tops? Nah, not this one. No, this is an Overfinch Heritage Field Edition Range Rover, and it's worth £285,000 plus VAT. That's about £340,000 if I've done my maths here in the UK. So what's that? That's well over 2 Bentley Bentegas and more than a Rolls-Royce Cullinan. But you know what? Let's not get wrapped up in all the objective financial toings and froings of the car, because this isn't about a car that you just sit there and buy with value for money in mind. Obviously that's not the case. This is a car you buy from your heart because you love classic Range Rovers and you want something different, and it offers that. But there is a market for it, because I was having a chat with the Overfinch guys earlier on, and they were telling me that most of their business is taken up with the Defender Classics, which they ship out to America, but they've already got 7 orders or 7 cars, 7 of these in build, which means that people are buying them, and 2 of them are actually the Field Edition, like this one, which comes with, as its party piece, 20 grand's worth of gun cabinet in the back, beautifully created. It's 2 drawers. The top one is for your 2 Purdies, and below that is a second drawer with your cut crystal glasses and champagne flutes. There's even 2 bottles of champagne and 2 bottles of Chateau Neuf de Pape or something in the back here. So we may have a little dabble of that later on. We'll see what we can get away with. And it's even got a humidor stacked full of cigars.
Remember to head over to PistonHeads.com after watching this video to research and buy your next car.
So what do you actually get for your colossal investment? Well, for a start, you're buying a completely remastered, they call it remastered, but it's a ground-up restoration of the classic Range Rover. So every nut and bolt has gone through, either replaced or rejuvenated. And of course, on top of that, you get all the bespoke trimming that Overfinch are known for. So, starting with this lovely Motor-Lita steering wheel, the interior is all the bits that used to be plastic that are now this lovely knurled finish, bright work. And I particularly like woodwork, having used to work for Rolls-Royce and Bentley in the past. And I particularly like the satin finish walnut with ashwood inlays. I think it looks great. And also the colour combination of this car is about as British as you could possibly get. So you've got this deep rich emerald on the outside, and I have to say the paint finish, I've looked at it and it's superb, real glass lacquer, glass finish lacquer, and then inside matched beautifully with this nice tan interior. So we've got Recaro seats that feel really comfortable, although it always makes me laugh. Recaro seats, they always seem to look like the same ones that have come out of an XR3i from about 1989, but it is fantastic in here and they're really comfortable. And who doesn't like a nice suede headlining? I think that looks fantastic. And then we get on to the driving. So how does a car like this drive? Well, the nice thing is it's a mixture of old and new. So it is a classic Range Rover. It's never going to be your pinned down super sharp car, but that's not the point of it. What it has got is Overfinch have upgraded suspension. It's got an Overfinch handling pack, so you get different dampers and springs and different anti-roll bars. And the one thing I'm really surprised about, and it may be because I haven't driven a classic Range Rover for a long time and you forget when you're driving modern cars that tend to be so lumpy on the road, but the ride is way better than I thought it was ever going to be. And it doesn't feel live axle fidgety all the time, skipping around. It's reasonably settled. The body control's pretty good. And it's actually a really comfortable car just to sit and while away a few hours driving through the country lanes like we're doing now. And the other thing that Overfinch have upgraded are the brakes. And I have to say, massive difference from what I remember from any classic Range Rover there, because you've got 6-pot calipers on the front, 4-pot calipers on the rear, and the stopping power is much better than I can ever remember. And even the pedal feel, it feels more progressive than I ever remember an old classic Range Rover feeling. And actually, I would say I haven't had to do any emergency stops yet, which is a good thing. But I would certainly say it's up there with a modern system from the feel of the brakes at least, if not maybe the ultimate stopping power. And what about the engine? Well, the old Rover V8's gone in this car, and it's been replaced by a brand new engine. You can probably guess what it's going to be, because it's a General Motors 6.2 litre LT1 engine out the Corvette. Here it's producing, I think it's 436 horsepower, 428 pound-foot of torque, and it's a real game of two halves of this engine. So on the one hand, you're cruising along, very lazy, very offbeat V8, very nice, easy torque, and all you're ever doing is pottering around, gathering speed, quarter throttle. And then you put your foot down. I don't know what the 0-60 figure of this car is, because I haven't been given it, but it's not even the speed. It does go. It's not even the speed that surprises you. What really surprises you is the noise. So, as I say, normally that offbeat, lovely, lazy V8 sound, and then put your foot down, and it's like being in a NASCAR. It's two completely different games, and it's fantastic because you're sitting there, you've got two cars for one. And the thing is, when I got into this car earlier on, I did that thing where you've come out of a modern car, you jump into this, and it's clearly an old car. The driving position's not so good because the steering wheel doesn't adjust properly, or doesn't adjust at all. It's an old classic Range Rover, so you're sitting on a ladder frame chassis, and the body's perched on top of that, so you feel perched up on it. I just felt a little bit awkward. But then you drive the car, and I spent about an hour going up the motorway, and I've now been driving around these lanes for a bit. And the thing gets under your skin, because that's what it's all about with classic cars. There's something inherent in a car like this, even though it's objectively not as good as a modern car, and of course it isn't in many ways, that just has a soul to it. And when you enjoy driving something and you enjoy almost its inadequacies or its quirks, that's what makes a car pleasurable. That's what brings a soul to the car that you don't get with some modern cars, at least. And that's why I think this Overfinch, for whatever the money, is an awesome product. And also, if you measure the value for money proposition in miles, well, I can tell you I've driven plenty of supercars that are in this kind of league, and you get a lot of attention. And you get the same amount of attention in this car, because in the time I've been driving it, people look, people stare, people study it in a traffic jam, and it makes you smile, and it makes me smile. So what's not to like?